Hello, my name is Lina Pham. Welcome to Daily Biz. Let's check out what we have in store for you in this bulletin. Prime Minister attends Vietnam-Japan Economic Policy Dialogue. And cooperation potential between Vietnam and Russia. We now begin with the stock exchange. Green is the dominant color in both local exchanges in today's trading section. The benchmark VN index on the Ho Chi Minh Stock Exchange gained 3.77 points to close at 608.11 points, with 134 advancers and 73 losers. The VN30 index, a free float adjusted with the highest market value and liquidity on the exchange, advanced 3.84 points to 11. The Hanoi Index on the Hanoi Stock Exchange also slightly gained 0.33 points to end at 81.39 points, with 109 gainers and 83 losers. The Upcom Index of unlisted public companies fell 0.16 points to finish at 55.93 points. Now let's check out the gainers and losers of today's trading. Prime Minister Nguyen Xuan Phuc attended the Japan-Vietnam High-Level Economic Policy Dialogue in Japan on Thursday. The Vietnamese Prime Minister highlighted the importance of foreign firms to the economy. He added Vietnam was keen to encourage Japanese firms to invest in various fields, including electronics, agriculture, and shipbuilding. He also called on Japanese investors to pump money into infrastructure development projects, public-private partnerships or PPP, high-quality services, and engagement in the equitization of Vietnamese state-owned businesses. As both countries are members of the TPP agreement, Japan-Vietnam bilateral trade turnover could increase threefold to $60 billion in the next 4 years. After 2 years of decline in trade and economic relations, economic and trade cooperation between Vietnam and Russia have seen many positive signs of development earlier this year. In particular, there have been more and more Vietnamese enterprises investing into Russia with the hope to seek and expand the market.
Recently, the TH Group has officially started a high-technology dairy cow breeding and milk processing projects in Moscow, Russia, with capital of up to $2.7 billion. This is the largest investment project by Vietnamese business to be implemented in Russia.
I highly appreciate the efforts of chairwoman of TH True Milk, Thái Hương. With strong will and creativity, she has helped promote Vietnamese products in Russia. This is an important project in implementing the ASEAN-European Free Trade Agreements this year.
The dairy investment projects of Vietnam into Russia have boosted relations between two countries in the agricultural sector. Previously, investment has only focused on energy, mainly oils and gas, with a modest amount of capital invested. Thus, Russia has implemented many positive policies to attract investment from Vietnam.
We are committed to supporting this project, as well as other projects that Vietnam will carry out in the future. Initially, we will support part of the expense of the total investment capital of the TH Group.
To date, there have been 20 Vietnamese investment projects in Russia, with a registered capital of nearly $3 billion. Russian businesses have invested in 114 projects in Vietnam, with a total registered capital of $2.08 billion. Although the investment figures between two countries are modest, experts expect that there will be many opportunities for cooperations in the coming time. Trade cooperation between Vietnam and Russia has also seen increasing potential, with the total import-export turnover averaging growth of 3.6%. The Hanoi-Moscow Trade Center acting as a bridge to promote economic relations and trade between the two countries has only increased this potential.
Until now, of the 170 suppliers joining in the fair, 40 businesses have opened offices and booths to display retail products at the trade center in Moscow. I think this is a very positive sign.
Recently, during a visit to Russia by Prime Minister Nguyễn Xuân Phúc, the Vietnam-Russia Investment Fund worth $500 million was established for bilateral trade. Leaders of the two countries have also set targets for trade turnover to reach $10 billion in 2020.
Within the framework of the 25th annual meeting of ASEAN Director Generals of Customs currently taking place in Phnom Penh, Cambodia, the head of the Vietnam's delegation, Director General Nguyễn Văn Cần, had a working session with Cambodian Customs, led by Director General Kun Yam. The two sides have agreed to push ahead with cooperation in combating illegal border trade. At the working session, the two Director Generals expressed their satisfaction with the progress in cooperation the two sides have made in recent times. Director General Cần shared his hope that the two customs agencies will exchange information in the coming time to better monitor trade activities and illegal trade in the border areas. The two customs heads expected cooperation to further facilitate the exports and imports of enterprises in both Vietnam and Cambodia. Overseas remittances to Ho Chi Minh City over the past 4 months are estimated to reach $1.3 billion, up 2% compared to the same period last year. According to the State Bank of Vietnam's branch in Ho Chi Minh City, the city received more than $211 million in remittances in April alone. Savings in foreign currency fell more than 11% due to a 0% interest rate on foreign currency deposits and a less volatile exchange rate. The city recorded $5.5 billion in remittances this year. And before we move to the next part of Daily Biz, let's check out how the Vietnam Đồng is weighed against other currencies in the world's market today. Investment in the real estate sector has increased 500% in the first 5 months of this year, according to the Ministry of Planning and Investment. Nearly 1,100 businesses in the property field were established, totaling up to $3.8 billion. The number of housing projects in both the medium and luxury segments increased about 10% compared to last year. The cause is that demand has started to pick up, warming the market. To promote investment, trade, and tourism between provinces in the Mekong Delta and the northern provinces, representatives of the State Bank, the Ministry of Industry and Trade, the Ministry of Planning and Investment, the Ministry of Culture, Sports and Tourism, along with the leaders of the southwest provinces, held a conference to promote trade cooperation on Thursday. This is an opportunity to open up the possibility of cooperation, boost the strength of the Mekong Delta region, and find solutions to overcome funding difficulties.
Although there is much potential in agriculture, culture, tourism, and abundant human resources, the economy of the Mekong Delta has not reached its potential, according to experts. Many sectors in the region also lack regional connections.
The question is how to connect different regions, especially in the tourism sector. It is almost identical in all the provinces of the Mekong Delta region.
According to the State Bank representative, the lack of regional connections is the cause behind capital for the Mekong Delta region only meets 70% of current demand. Therefore, in the coming time, the State Bank will enact a credit funding plan in each province and allow a transfer credit model in some key sectors, such as export, processing and trade.
We will try to restructure credit in particular sectors so as to create added value for the goods of the Western region faster.
At the leadership conference in Hanoi, representatives of many ministries and departments have launched measures for provinces in the Mekong Delta region to further cooperate, especially in agricultural consumption.
Hanoi will create favorable conditions for the Mekong Delta to sell agricultural products into the supermarket supply chain, wholesale markets, as well as traditional markets.
The organizing committee has granted an investment certificate for a number of enterprises engaging in collecting and exporting rice in provinces of the Mekong Delta region.
The Vietnam Textile and Apparel Association, or VITAS, has proposed the state slow down the process of raising the minimum wage from now until 2017. According to the association, this will help stabilize production conditions for textile enterprises. The continuous rise in the minimum wage increases labor costs, thus reducing competitiveness and investment ability. It also affects the regulations in the labor market and the restructuring of the agriculture sector. Besides, raising of the minimum wage would prevent businesses from expanding into rural areas where cheaper labor can be found more easily. The first batch of lychee crop was irradiated at the Hanoi Irradiation Center on Friday morning. This is a requirement of the Australian importers. These 3.5 tons of lychee from Quảng Ninh province earlier passed the GAP standard. The current statistics are in compliance with the requirements of Australian importers. The lychees were cut, carefully selected and packed in 304 5 kilo boxes before being irradiated. After 3 days, the radiation levels of the lychee boxes will be shared with Australia to show compliance. And that's it for Daily Beast. To rewatch our bulletins, just log on to vtv4.vn or youtube.com/vtv4go. I'm Lina Pham from VTV International. For now, goodbye from Hanoi.